Okay, so if you're like me and you absolutely love movies, but you don't know which ones to go see or which ones are coming out soon, well, I've got good news, because in this video, I'm going to break down my 3 most anticipated movies coming out in the month of June of the year 2022. As someone who watches a ton of movies and always has the new releases on my radar, I thought this video would be helpful to you. Reason being is because there are so many great movies to choose from every single month, and I'm hoping that this video will help you choose which ones to go see. And at the very end, I'll also give a 4th honorable mention movie that I'm also excited for just because I love ya. So thank you all so much for joining me today. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so coming in at number 3 for me, for my most anticipated for the month, is gonna be Black Phone. Black Phone is an upcoming horror flick that stars Ethan Hawke. Long story short, he plays as a clown who kidnaps a kid and has kidnapped several kids. And this kid has to essentially find his way out of this home. And I'm excited for this movie for a few reasons. One, I think the horror genre space has been lacking in the last few years. I mean, aside from the thriller that is A Quiet Place Part 2, aside from the 3rd Conjuring film that came out last year, there really hasn't been a whole lot of great movies that have come out of the horror genre in a long time, and I'm hoping that the Black Phone can kind of break and end that streak. I'm hoping for something new, something fresh, and since Ethan Hawke is the main star, I'm excited to see what else he can do. He's brought a lot of great things to the horror genre before, and he can do it again, and I have no doubt that Black Phone can provide the service. Which brings me to number 2 on my most anticipated list and coming out this month. It's gonna be Lightyear. So when I was really young, I was obsessed with the movie Toy Story. It was my very first introduction to Woody and Buzz Lightyear, and I just ate up the movie and I watched it hundreds of times and tortured my babysitters in the process. I latched on to Buzz, I latched on to Woody, and I just absolutely loved and adored those characters. And now that I'm not so small and I'm much older and they're actually making an animated movie and a spin-off just about Buzz, it's got me really pumped and excited. With newer animation styles that have come out, great voice actors to help supplement the movie in Chris Evans and also Taika Waititi, I'm genuinely excited to see where they take Buzz Lightyear as a character because the world is their oyster in that regard. It's just an area of Toy Story that's never really been explored, and it's just a pretty exciting time to see Buzz, his origin story, and where he came from. And a lot of this is probably the nostalgic little kid in me just getting all excited for it, but heck, it's been 20-something odd years since the original Toy Story came out, so let's have some fun with this one. And plus, it's likely great for the whole family, so you can take your kids to it too, or young cousins, or whoever you want. And coming in at number 1 for my most anticipated for the month is going to be Elvis. I was talking to my aunt about this movie and she summed it up very nicely. I know nothing about Elvis. I'm not a huge fan of Elvis's music, but by God, I feel the need to go see this movie. I think what really sold it on me is essentially the trailer and hearing Tom Hanks just narrate his voice over this entire backdrop of Elvis going through his career, his trial and tribulations. It got to me. Very few trailers execute something that well in my mind, but the one for Elvis, it succeeded. It's gotten me really hyped for this movie beyond what I ever imagined. Because like I said, I'm not an Elvis fan. I typically go see some musical biopics. I really love the Queen musical biopic, but this movie would normally not be anywhere near my radar, and it's jumped to the number 1 spot. So for that reason, I can't wait to see it, and I'm really excited to see what Austin Butler can do in the role as Elvis, because man, they make him look good. And friends, as promised, here's one more for an honorable mention just because, well, I love you for sticking around this long. The honorable mention for me is going to be Jurassic World Dominion. I haven't seen any of the new age Jurassic World movies, and meaning that's all the ones that Chris Pratt has essentially been the lead star in, but I figured since this is, I believe, the 3rd installment of that franchise, why not go ahead and just get fully soaked in and watch the movies that came before it leading up to watching this one. These movies are ridiculously popular worldwide. They've made hundreds of millions of dollars, and I believe into the billions at this point. I really love the original Jurassic Park movie that came out however many years ago, and it looks like some of the stars are actually returning in Jurassic World Dominion. So for me, that's enough to get me intrigued and to give it a shot, and plus Chris Pratt, who doesn't love the guy, he's really charismatic. A lot of his roles are excellent. To me, there's just very little downside to be had, so I'm gonna go see Jurassic World Dominion. Alright friends, so that's the end of the list. What movies are you super excited to see for the month of June of 2022? Are there any movies that didn't make my list that made yours? Are there any movies I missed? Whatever you feel, please let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And friends, thank you so much for joining me for another video. If this was valuable to you, I'd be honored if you consider hitting the like button so people just like you are able to find this video. And if you want to see more videos a lot like this one, feel free to check them out in the cards up here or down in the link in the description below. Friends, this has been the Bankrupt Hippo YouTube channel. I've been Bryce, and until next time, have a great day.